All right, so this video is going to be an overview of the graphing piecewise functions level 1. So in each one, you're going to be given piecewise functions and you have to graph it. It has directions here, click and drag to make a line, click the line to delete it, click on an endpoint of a line to change it. So before I even graph this line, I'm just going to show you what that means. So let's say I was trying to graph a line that was like negative 2x plus 8. So I know if I started at 8, that would be my y-intercept. And if I wanted a negative 2 slope, it says to click and drag. So I have not undone my click yet. So I'm still clicked. I'm going to drag. Notice I'm just dragging this around. So what's tricky here is you need to make sure you maintain the same slope. Watch what happens if I jump. See how that changed the slope? So that's going to happen while you graph. You just need to make sure you're being really careful that you're counting it out as you drag. So if I just click and drag, I get a point that has 2 dots on the end lines. So, and they're always going to be filled in if you just click and drag. So if I wanted to make these open, I click that dot again. Open, I click that dot again. So I could continue this line on. And if I double click it, so if I double click it, it makes it continue all the way with an arrow. So if you double click the dot, it will continue on forever with an arrow. If you just notice when I go over the line, it has a little like X out. If I click that, the whole line there goes away. So I can X out any part of the line. So again, click and drag to make a line, double click to make an arrow, single click to get it back, single click to open that circle. So I'm going to go on, delete this, and I'm going to go on and actually graph this line. So the first one says x plus 1 for negative 6 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 0. So if I had a highlighter, I would highlight, actually I think I can do a highlighter. I can highlight at negative 6. This is what I would do on my paper. And then at 0 as well. So that's a changeover point. That first equation is stuck between these two lines. The second one goes from 0 to 3. No, you can't highlight in general, but this is going to help you guys just to see it. You can always do this on paper and then transfer it onto Delta Math. So my first point, I need to figure out what goes on this line. If you watched my videos, I always plug in that point, negative 6, to figure out what's on the line, and I go from there. So if I plug in negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. So I know I have the point negative 6, negative 5. So I'm going to plot that. I'm holding down, and the slope of this is positive 1. So I'm just going over with the positive 1 slope and being really meticulous about it until I get to the next boundary line. Now notice I have 2 equal to parts. So these should both be filled in, which they are. So I don't need to change anything there. My next one is negative 1, and that goes between 0 and 3. So I just have to drag that one over to 3. The 0 has just a less than sign. So I need to click on that again to open up that circle. And now I have both parts fully graphed. So I'm going to submit my answer. Are you sure? Yes. And I got it right. All right, so hopefully this helps. I'll just take a look at the next problem, see if there's anything different in here. It looks pretty much the same. So you really just need to make sure you're clicking and dragging, paying attention to the slope, paying attention to what point lies on the boundary line, things like that.